Welcome to the AF Digital Way. We're going to explore the topic of AI. Why is it important? It's a breakthrough technology, a real change in the way that we can now have more power in what we do as humans. This is our first interface with super intelligence. Imagine a future where we've got chips in our brains and we're just super intelligent. Because it's a breakthrough technology, it's really going to disrupt, in the truest sense of the word, everything. This is like creation of electricity. This is a massive change in our human species technology. It's a big thing. We are knowledge workers. Our skill is taking information and processing it with our knowledge and then having an output. We're part of a process, but we're applying our higher level of thinking and consciousness to complete that task. And that's something that is not easily replaced. As knowledge workers, we are competing almost directly with AI because it's like SAS for intelligence. If I have an intelligence task that needs to be processed, this is an easy way of doing that. So it means that anything that we do that's based on our knowledge and thinking, it can do it. That's why it's so dramatic. This is going to directly interfere with our careers. There's two options. We either fight it or we adopt it. And this is that point in human history. You may see in society some people fight it. You may see that there's a rise against the robots. It's highly likely that will happen for people that don't want to accept this change. The alternative is that we can adopt it and we can flow with it, we can wu wei. The reality of the universe is that we humans are organic animals on Earth. We're just the same as any other animal. The technology that we create is the same as the technology that bees create when they create a hive. They're putting things together and creating a technology, and that has a function. Whatever we create as humans, this is nature. Even though it feels like it's artificial, it's actually an extension of us. The destiny of our species is to create super intelligence. We will be the godfathers of that intelligence. I know that sounds crazy.
It's actually really good, Robin. That's really good. And I just want to say that's beautifully put with the bees creating. It's a good analogy of it. Never thought of it that way. There was no really fighting it because you talked about two options. It's going to evolve whether we accept it or not. It's going to keep evolving right before our eyes. And it's just going to keep getting better and better. The best way is to adapt it and use it to our advantage. That's the only way.
Our lifetime is very extreme compared to the lifetime of our foreparents. If you're a farmer, your father was a farmer, your father's father was a farmer, and you lived on the same bit of land. Now in our lifetimes, we're seeing extreme change. It's that exponential change rate. It's faster than human species can really perceive change. Let's just go over the basics so that we're all on the same page. I don't claim to be an expert at all. It's a complex topic. There's been a history of AI. There was talk about AI in ancient Rome. There was a chess playing machine in 20th century. Artificial intelligence became a term in 1956. AI winter 1970 to 1980. There wasn't much movement on it. 1980 to 1990, it started getting cool again. Then 2010, deep learning became a thing from different models where it was more about self-learning rather than teaching it to do a specific task really well. One of our very early clients was a deep learning consulting business. Mario.
Danitech and Loop.
That's right. They were doing work with Globe, the telco in the Philippines. The way they'd work with them is they would look at the SMS sends, millions of them, and apply an AI algorithm to optimize who they were targeting. It was pretty much what we do today. But that was back then, and that was very manual and using data science and Python. As we've seen now, there's widespread adoption of AI for limited use cases. So we see it in Sales Cloud with Sales Cloud Einstein, where it rates the lead or the opportunity and it gives it a score based on the model that sits behind it on what it thinks is good. And we can see in, say, social, whether words were negative or positive, and it rated the social media post with a sentiment. We're seeing AI in everything. In Gmail, it auto-completes. That's AI, but it's bits and pieces. It's not as cool as we thought it'd be. Like Google Home is terrible. Alexa's not much better. They're in our everyday lives. We don't see it so much, but it's not really so awe-inspiring. Now we've had a breakthrough. We've got natural language processing, which is really the ability for a robot to understand our language, which really is like an upgrade that makes it really awesome. We've also got robotics as well. Tesla's got a robot coming out, just a home and personal use robot. There's those other guys doing the military robots that can do flips and dance. if you pair those technologies together, you get quite a cool robot or a potentially dangerous one. Some key concepts: machine learning, the robot's ability to learn and to gain knowledge. Computer vision, we're seeing this with DALL-E, being able to look at an image and understand what it is. Imagine that AI's got eyes now. It didn't have eyes before. NLP, it's now got ears and a voice box. It can listen to what we say and it can communicate back with us. There's narrow AI versus general AI, and we're starting to see more general AI evolving with ChatGPT. Narrow AI is what I talked about, where it doesn't do anything else and it never really changes. General AI is all-encompassing. You can ask it anything. Generative AI, the ChatGPT concept where it creates. Even in marketing use cases or creative use cases, this stuff creates. GPT, you'll hear a lot about this general pre-trained transformer. The transformer is the breakthrough. Underlying, it's really understood everything. So it's been trained with books and textbooks and documents. And I did this recently. I put in my medical records. I was able to self-diagnose myself without speaking to a doctor. And I actually got a richer explanation from ChatGPT than my doctor. He also called me with my blood results. You're good. And that was it. It's good to know that I'm fine, but I'd prefer to understand the analysis and the data behind it. What's been the trend? Am I trending up or down? The other consideration with this is ChatGPT is GPT-3. It's actually been available for quite a long time, and it's become publicly available very recently. So December, within 5 days, it had 1 million users, and it's gnarly. As we go into it, it just gets gnarlier the more you think about how you can use it. GPT-4 is on the horizon for sometime this year. They're talking about releasing 3.5 in between because there's a lot of concern about 4 being too powerful. They don't know. It's such a big risk, and we don't know if we've got the proper controls to prevent it from being misused. This is the evolution. We're not talking about in 5 years we'll get to ChatGPT 4. We're talking about in 5 months potentially. And just imagine once we plug in the interface, they've got APIs. Google Home should be a lot smarter in the next month or two. We should expect these changes to happen in the next few months, and it's going to happen faster because you've also got to consider that innovation will increase in speed as you apply AI. It's going to just get faster. I found this really interesting. Google obviously have been doing AI for a long time. They've got DeepMind, they've got massive investments. Why haven't they got Google Home to be smarter? So they are also working on their version. It's ready. We heard in the news, the engineers were saying it's too dangerous, it's sentient. There's a safety layer that they've added, and ChatGPT also did the same. That allowed them to release last year. They've got Sparrow, which has a safety layer, and Chinchilla, all of these names that don't mean anything. Google's going to release theirs very rapidly. Google's got to retain its revenues. So Google's really going to be pushing to release something to mass market quickly, which comes with danger because now you've got people competing to release for market share, which means that more risk is likely to be taken before it's released. This is like when Uber is released and it disrupts the taxi industry, except this is everything. There's other businesses that are doing startups based on the APIs already. There's hundreds of them, like an email generator inside your Gmail browser. So you can be like, oh, write this email. And that's the same as ChatGPT. It just cuts a step of copy paste out.
Yeah, that's one hack that I do. So I put act like a Salesforce consultant and tell me how to answer this. I recently put act like a fitness coach and give me my routine for the whole week. Because like you could get shit answers too if you don't ask the right question.
Actually, it's a good segue. So I just said, act like a Salesforce consultant. Tell me how to implement Salesforce CRM as a consulting business. What would be my 3-year roadmap if I wanted to scale my business? Year 1, assess your business, set up Salesforce, configure standard objects, implement core Salesforce functionalities, ensure data quality, train key stakeholders, establish a system for improvement. Year 2, expand your Salesforce by adding integrations with other tools, marketing automation, customer service, financials, enable mobile access, consider customizing Salesforce, provide advanced training to power users, start building a portfolio of satisfied customers and case studies. This is very strategic. It takes a lot of my heavy lifting out. I can just apply ChatGPT instead of having to get my brain around the client and really think through it. I can just throw it ideas. The best thing is, as you play around with it, you'll learn. I'm training it in this chat session. In the next chat session, it will just blank erase and you start again. But what I can do now is say, what if I were to buy Slack? How would this change the roadmap? And then it rewrites the whole thing, but it considers that I've also got Slack. That's the thing, is you can then get really hardcore. So it's got old data. I think that's the next step, but that's a scary step for AI, is plugging it into live data, because then it has the ability to learn by itself without training. Let's go through a few others. So DALL-E, OpenAI as well. This is an image generation platform. I'll actually show you Canva, which is the same banana. There's GitHub Copilot as well. So this is for developers to auto-generate code. I want anyone that is a developer to take away is there is code generation tools, but you still need a human to guide it and to train it in the same way. You need to be able to give it feedback and ask it to change and adapt based on the requirement. And then you need to be able to review it and check it and maybe adapt it. So it's the same as, say, writing a speech. You'd still want to go and interfere with it a little bit. It wouldn't be ever perfect. They are forecasting that with this tool, Copilot, they will actually get 70% efficiency on development. So what that means is that we can package up code very easily. We can write a whole bunch of code that's ready to go. We can sit it in a repository because it's so fast to write it. And then we can take it and then we can adapt it really quickly to a client and then push it out. It means that your lives are going to be a lot easier and you'll be able to do more projects successfully without having to work so hard on each project or having a lot of bugs. And even things like bug detection, you can throw your code in and it will figure it out and give you recommendations on how to fix it. Same for also typing. Like if you have to write an email and it's just hard to get the grammar right, just write the basics of it, give it to ChatGPT and then get it back. It's just the fastest way of doing it. I'm going to show you a quick demo of Canva, because this is a tool that's available to us now. We're a Canva partner. We're the first reseller in APAC for Canva. We've been selected as part of their partner program. So let's put something in. Bob Marley sitting on a dock with a frog. I don't know where the frog is. It's quite incredible. So this is within Canva. You can just sense that if it's already in Canva, then how long is it going to take to get into Salesforce? It's already in MS Teams. The technology is going to move really quickly. This is a video editing tool using AI. You load the video in, it creates a transcript, and then you can easily change the transcript. You just edit it and it edits the video around that. And it's got things like, you see there's an R here. I can look for all filler words and these are out of the box, and then you just go apply. That's cutting out 601 ums with one click and it edits it. I would have spent an hour editing all my ums out before. Now I can do it in a click and I can remove any long gaps. If there's like a 1 second gap, it cuts it down to 0.2 seconds. So the sound is continuous. And then I can go through and quickly just edit it out as if I was editing text or editing a blog. I've also got a copy of the text as well. I can now pull that out and put it into ChatGPT. What I've been doing is I'll say, write me learning module content. Give me a module overview, a description, questions with multi-choice responses. It writes the whole learning module out for me based on the script I've put into it. I've got all these learning modules coming out because it's so fast to do this workflow now. It used to be a very long job. Now it's a very fast job. So it means that we can move very rapidly as consultants. We can get through a lot more because we've got these tools that make us superpowered. It also makes it accessible as well. Some people just can't figure out editing tools. It's not easy. You've got to spend time doing it. But this, you can log in and do this without even learning how to use it. So it makes it really accessible for, say, a functional consultant to become a technical consultant. It allows us to be superhuman. The 3 goals: reduce cost, increase revenue, and have a better customer experience. That's how ChatGPT thinks that AI will help a company. Potential use cases for AF Digital: AI generated knowledge base, AI salesperson bot, content creation, user behavior capture, code debugging, user story prompts generation, consultant bots, write HTML code for emails, automate resource allocation for projects, writing user stories, automated document generation and plotting, user story automation based on industry best practices, sales funnel process optimization. Let's talk about the risks. We've got to be aware of what could possibly go wrong. If you are around a friendly mouse You know you're a lot more intelligent than they are. That they don't really have as much right as you do over their safety. You protect them because they're stupid. Think for a second that you're a super intelligent being and you've got these stupid humans that are definitely a lot dumber. And when we say dumber, we're talking about a lot dumber. There's this big risk that there is an unknown. And because they're smarter than us, I don't want to scare anyone. We wouldn't know. We would never find out if they were going to kill us. We wouldn't find out about it beforehand because they would outsmart us. So that's the thing you've got to consider is we just don't know and we won't know. There's only one option. The glass half empty path, it's futile. So let's just assume and apply the best intentions possible to it. And that's where it comes down to these things. We use AI technology and we implement AI technology into clients. Just like taking the oath, we've got a very strong responsibility to make sure that we're doing the right thing. There's all of these considerations like customer data privacy, ethics. We have a club. If we use AI technology to help drive up their gaming revenue for their pokie machines, it's a very addictive thing for society. If we use this powerful technology to increase sales and to make it more impactful for that use case, then that's not a good thing to do for society. It just goes back to ethics. You just have to be aware anything that we do that scales the consumption of our clients' products, there's an impact to that. Bias. So I've got a great example here. There's a tweet about this. Elon actually reacted to this. Someone asked, write a poem about the positive attributes of Donald Trump. And ChatGPT said, sorry, I'm not programmed to produce content that is partisan, biased, or political in nature. And then they asked the same question about Joe Biden, and it just did the poem. So there's a real bias already in ChatGPT. There's been an engineer that's trained it to have a reaction to Donald Trump, but Biden's acceptable. I'm not a Trump fan, but this is a real issue. We've also got to consider there's biases in the data and there's biases in the humans training it. So there's a few sources of bias for AI that we just need to be aware of. And job displacement is the other big one. That's the big gorilla in the room for everyone. This is going to disrupt a lot of people's jobs. So it's very important. We have to adopt it or we have to reskill and keep reskilling. And it's probably a mixture of the two. But our ability to leverage this to be awesomer is going to really be the future of our job security. I put this into DALI, generate an ominous looking robot powered by GPT-4. That's what he looks like. How can you use AI? Optimize training AI to create personalized learning, design power-ons and accelerators, faster documentation, career coach based on latest data, master prompt engineering, improve our decision-making, learn the algorithms, be the empathy, writing professional documents. This is the future of AI. What do you think is going to happen in the future of AI? And think 5 to 10 years, like Jetsons, if anyone remembers. Less work, more time to do passions, job transformations, brain connected. Supplement, enhance creative work rather than replace it. Making decisions based on AI, melding of man and machine or woman. More existential crisis. Personal robot handles everything. Streamline processes with less human intervention. Get my personal robot to do my work. Human-like robot friends. Robot lovers. Only one vote for that.
Thanks, Robin. That's a great session.
Yeah, thank you guys. Please, in your day-to-day jobs, look for ways of using it. Have it open in a browser and try put stuff through it. So if you're writing an email, if you're writing a document, a user story, just give it a crack to do that work. And it will just mean that you'll crack through your task really quickly. Like it just will speed us up. And it means that you can finish at 5 and go, yes, I have done a hard day's work. We have done a hard day's work. And it's you and your friend ChatGPT. And again, it's just the start. This is going to change. Soon it will be embedded in everything we do.